Hi, this is David here at Highland Camper Vans and welcome to the handover video of this Crowther Camper's VW Transporter. We're going to take you around this vehicle, show you the key features and operations to get you all set ready for your first adventure out. I would recommend that you maybe save this video for later, bookmark it, or maybe download it to your device. So if you are stuck out and about, then you've got something to refer to. But of course, you can obviously reach out to us here at Highland Camper Vans. We are more than happy to help. So as I said, further ado, let's get cracking with this video and I hope you find it useful. Located down the driver's side, you're going to find this flap here, which is your freshwater fill. You'll need your habitation key to unlock the flap. Take the flap out and then insert your freshwater line like so, and then run the water. You can also check the water status by opening the back, removing the flap, and you'll be able to see the water line as the tank fills. This just here is where the water's coming in. This is where the water's being pulled out by the pump, and this here is the overflow. And that is filling up your van with fresh water. When filling the fresh water tank on your VW, if you overfill, there is an overflow on the tank and you'll see it drip just here behind the driver's side rear wheel. Hiding in the rear cupboard on the driver's side, you're going to find your RDC control board, which is this grey box just here. Now hiding under here is your trip switches for isolating various different systems, and then here is the fuses for the vehicle. You have a master controller just up here which completely disables the rear electric system with the leisure battery. If you are charging the batteries up, you need to make sure this is switched on. This will be lit up in red when it's on hookup, and that covers the vehicle battery charger and fuse board. Just inside the rear tailgate, you're going to find this here. This is the gas locker, access with the look-and flap here. There we go. And there is our gas bottle. Now you are carrying a Camp Gas 907 bottle inside this van, and activate the gas by just turning the regulator top on here. And if you are traveling, it's recommended that you do switch the gas off again by just locking the gas off. Don't forget that gas threads are reversed compared to regular nuts and bolts. And that covers our gas locker. Hiding in the little kitchen cupboard next to the microwave, you are going to see this little tap at the very back of the cupboard. Now this is a gas isolation tap. Now when you are traveling in your van, I would strongly recommend that you turn the gas off, and I would also recommend that you isolate the gas circuit by using this little tap. It's very simple to use. You pull on the tap and it will quarter turn. So pull the tap like so, and that's now the system disengaged. To re-engage it, just turn it again, and that will then allow flow of gas through the system. Now, if you're taking your van on the Eurostar train or on ferries, you will need to show evidence of that your gas has been isolated. So this is where this tap would come into play. And as part of your winter drain down procedure, I would recommend turning the gas supply off, disconnecting this isolation valve as well, just to make sure that your van is all secure and safe. Down on the rear of the vehicle on the driver's side, you're going to find this flap here, and this flap here is your electrical hookup point. You need to get a hookup cable like this one just here, and then just connect it, open the flap, and just slide it in until you hear the click, and there you go, and that then connects your vehicle. Now when you're connecting your vehicle to electric hookup point, it's very important not to travel with a live cable. So to avoid that, what we would do is when we arrive on our campsite, we hook the van in first. We then run our other end of the cable to the power source. We then hook that in, and then we turn the power source on. That involves you travel with a live cable. When it comes to leaving the campsite, you just reverse the process. So disconnect the power from the source and then disconnect the van itself, as it were. To disconnect it, just pull the cable out like so. Now what's really important is from time to time is check the quality and integrity of your cable. So make sure you check the cable for any nicks or tears, and also check the end connection itself for any rust or any visible signs of damage. If you find anything, it's a good choice to actually replace the cable itself. Now when you are using your cable, do make sure that you don't leave the cable all furled up like so. It will melt the cable. You want to make sure the cable is kept nice and unraveled like an extension cord, and that covers hooking your van up for electrical hookup point. Just inside the driver's door under the dashboard, you're going to find this wee lever here. This is our bonnet release lever. So moving under the bonnet, the safety latch for this vehicle is just above the badge. Give it a squeeze and then lift the bonnet. The bonnet is on gas safe struts, so it'll stay up by itself. So under the bonnet you have your brake reservoir, you have your power steering tank just located here, or reservoir fill. Move it across, we have our screen wash and our coolant expansion tank. And then finally, our battery located on the far side. So once you're ready to shut the bonnet down, it's just a case to make sure everything is all clear. Bring the bonnet down and then give it a firm push to make sure it shuts. Give it a little tug just to make sure it is all locked, and that covers under the bonnet. Next, we're going to look about how you raise the elevator roof on your VW van. So what you need to do first of all is you need to release these two straps, one on either side, like so. Just push the clip and then just pull on the strap and make sure you pull the strap out all the way, but leaving a little bit at the very end, like so. So we'll do that on the other side. Pull the ratchet strap out. While doing this, is not a bad idea to just check the quality of your ratchet straps from time to time. If you see any nicks or tears on the ratchet strap, it's a good time to replace them. I would also recommend that you carry a couple of spare straps in the van just in case you need to replace them in the field. So once we've got our straps loose, it's just a case of giving the roof a good push and up she'll go. And that is raising the elevator roof. Next, we're going to have a wee look at the skyline roof, a part of this canvas. So the skyline allows us to unzip this lower section here and then roll the roof up and completely open this space. Now, I'm not going to do it fully on this video, but I'm going to show you how it actually operates. So to use it, we're going to unzip like so, around the base of the van, all the way around. And then you may notice there's 1, 2, and 2 further behind me, little straps here. These have little buckles on the other side. So when you roll the canvas up, like so, there is a buckle on the other side, which you then clip to raise the roof itself. Bringing the roof back down, when you're ready to shut the roof, you need to obviously make sure everything's out of the way, roll the zips round. Now, what you might find is as you come around the corners here, if the roof has been up for a period of time, this might be a little bit tight. If that's the case, just take one hand, lower the roof down on the side that's a little bit tight to help the zip around the corner, and like so on the opposite side to help. You might need someone to give you a hand with that if you're struggling to do it by yourself. Then make sure the zips meet, like so, and that is now the skyline roof closed, ready for you to lower the high top roof. Next, we're going to have a look about bringing the elevator roof down. Now, when you are lowering your elevator roof, it's extremely important to make sure that you do not pinch the side canvas on the rear hinge or anywhere else around the van. So what we need to do first, obviously we need to make sure that our ratchet straps are loosened off to give us some slack. We need to make sure that any flaps are fully zipped up and the bottom here is all zipped up. So before we put the roof down, just make sure that everything is all stowed away correctly, ready for reducing the roof. There's 2 handles, one on either side, and what you do is you bring the roof down like so. Then once you've got the roof to a certain point, you then can pull the canvas in like so, pull the canvas in, and then continue to lower the roof down. Once the roof is finally lowered onto its lowest base, what you want to do then is just go around the outside of the roof, just make sure that the canvas is all tucked in, and then once you're done, it's a case of tighten the ratchet straps off and then make sure the roof is secure. What I recommend is that before you travel, give the roof a little push with your hands. There should be no movement on the roof. If there's still a little bit of movement, just check the canvas, make sure it's not trapped or billowed anywhere, and just obviously check the tightness of the straps. And that covers the elevator and roof. Now we're going to take a look at the habitation control and heater control for your VW transporter. So the main habitation control is this Sergeant control panel just here with the very simplified solution. So we've got master on, ledger battery control, vehicle battery control, water pump and light control with an additional lighting circuit on this button just here. So to turn on the power, press the button like so, and by default it will automatically select the leisure battery, but you can tell the vehicle to switch over to vehicle battery if you need to. Okay, so we can stay on the leisure battery, and then to check battery level when the system is off, we just hold the button down, sorry, with the button on, hold the button down, and that will then give us our levels. Okay, so turn on the light circuit. Secondary light circuit is this one just here. We also have three 3-pin sockets and a 12-volt USB sockets just here. The 3-pin sockets only work on electrical pass-through, so you need to be hooked up to use those. This one here will work on the leisure battery system. Likewise with the charging pad for the mobile phone. So when we want to use the sink, we obviously need to put the water pump on, which is this button here. That will activate the water pump. I would recommend turning the pump on and off as and when you need it, just to conserve energy. So moving on to your heater system, which is this control device just here. Now, the heater system has a lot of options on board, which I'm not going to cover here just now. All I'm going to do is just show you the basics to get it working. So when you see the P14 system here with this symbol, it lets you know it's on standby mode. It's on, but on standby. This just lets you know that this is where the fan is going to be going, and you'll get fan intensity levels just here. So turning it on, we're going to hold the button down here to turn the system on. And by default it will go to H3, which is a medium heating mode. So to set the temperature, what we need to do is hold this button down to put it into manual temperature control. So that's it at 16, and then we just up like so to how we want it to be, and then we press the OK button, and that now is in manual mode. And you can see there the fan is now engaging. It's now heating up the tank, which is what this little glow plug signal is for, and this is our intensity side of it, as it were. To turn the system off, we're going to hold the button down here, and that will then turn the system off as well. Now, if the vehicle's been running for a while on the heater, this may continue to blow for some time, but if you see this symbol here, you know the system's on standby. Additional information, this here is the current recorded temperature of the vehicle itself, as it were, and that just covers the heating system, electrical hookup for the sockets, and your habitation control system. Next, we're going to cover the fridge operations, and that's fairly straightforward. Just inside the fridge. Now, when you turn the fridge on, the light circuit's connected to the vehicle system, and this light will come on automatically by itself. But when the vehicle is running, or if you're on a leisure battery, the fridge will switch between its different modes. So to turn the fridge on, we just turn this control knob just here, and this also sets the thermostatic temperature. If you're not using the van, don't forget to switch this back off so you're not wasting energy inside the van. Hiding under here is just your little freezer box, which is just with the cold plates on there. Most of these fridges take roughly about half an hour to sort of cool down for the first time use. So what I would recommend, if you are heading on a trip and you haven't put the fridge on to start with, is connect the vehicle up to your electrical hookup point, maybe at home, turn the fridge on and give it a good half an hour before thinking about putting items into your fridge. And that covers our fridge. Looking at the sink and your 2-ring hobs. Now, before we start, for the water system, you need to make sure you're ordering the fresh tank and you have primed the water pump system by turning on at the hat panel. For the gas rings, you need to make sure that you've turned the gas on to allow the gas to flow through, and obviously make sure the isolator switch has also been switched off. So, water pump side first. So let's open up the sink, raise the tap, and it's a simple case of lifting the faucet, action the water like so. Now, for winter drain down purposes, I strongly recommend that you drain the water out of your system to avoid it freezing up. So the easy way to do that would be to run the tap until it takes all the water out of the tank itself. Leave the tap open, just allow any moisture to come out of the tap. When you're traveling, I'd recommend that you put the plug in the hole, just to avoid any smells coming up from the waste pipe. So, onto the gas rings. So you have 2 gas rings. So one controller here, one controller there to operate the various different sides. With the gas on, it's a case of pushing, turning, so you hear the gas, click the sparker till it ignites, hold it down for a few seconds for the thermocoupling to engage, and there you go. And then once you're done, make sure you rotate this back to the 12 o'clock position to kill the gas supply. I would recommend just having a quick listen to the rings to make sure the gas is off. If you can't hear any hissing, then you know the gas has switched off correctly. These rings here do come off if you need to clean. Just be wary that they have little rubber grommets, very easy to lose, and they sometimes can tear. So just be ginger when taking this off to do some cleaning. Likewise, when you have been cooking on these rings, don't just shut this straight down. You want to make sure you give this about 10 minutes to cool off before closing the glass. Otherwise you could shatter or potentially break the glass. And that covers our sink and ring hobs. Now we're going to have a look at the rock and roll bed, so how to put it into bed mode. Very straightforward. We use this wee lever here, we lift it up to release it, like so. Pull on it. I would definitely recommend getting your hand on the seat and pull the whole seat down. Give it a good tug. There we go. And that there is the bed now down, ready for use. To put the bed away, you need to lift the bench seat up. So the easy way to do it is grab it by the head restraint, use your knees to push the bed like so, Once it's up, slide it back into place, make sure it's retracted all the way in, and then lock it with the control device. Make sure that's in the down position. Give the bed a quick tug, make sure it is working like so. Top tip when you're using the rock and roll beds, be wary of the seat belts. Always make sure they're in this free position, not buckled up to the sides. The reason for that is that when you raise the bed up and down, you can sometimes action the tension system on the belt, which can maybe restrict the bed going up or down. And that is the rock and roll bed. Now we're going to have a look at the primary driving controls in this VW. So on our instrument binnacle, we have our rev counter on the left, we have our speedometer here on the right, and then in the center we have our MFD or multifunction display, and there's a button for controlling that located on the side of the wiper stalk. Giving that a wee click, we'll just cycle through various different informational displays that are available to you. So on the left-hand side stalk, this is our indicator stalk, so up and down for various different indicators. If you get a light flick, it will flash 3 times as a lane changing, and full mode, it will then disconnect when you turn the steering wheel. With the lights on, which I turned on just down here, push it away from you to turn the beam light on, and then bring it back towards you again to turn the beam off. If you're just driving down the road, a flash is just bringing the lights towards you like so. Moving on the opposite side, you have the wiper control, and the wipers go up for the various different programs. So you have intermittent, normal speed, high speed. The intermittent controller can be adjusted with intensity by using this little control device just here to either speed the intervals or slow the intervals down. The wash wiper is towards you to activate the wash wiper. Hold it down to the water squirts, and then the system will go through its various different programs for you. Now this vehicle has a rear wiper which is activated like so. That will turn the wiper on, and then hold it in position to activate the rear wiper and washer system. Don't forget, if you will have to stop using the rear wiper, you need to bring it back to the center section here to just turn the wiper off. Moving over to the media side of things. So the button here will turn the media system on. This controls the volume for the radio like so, and then we pick our radio stations by just selecting the buttons across here if you have pre-programs, or we can go quickly through different stations like so on here. We then have a media interface which allows us to plug in auxiliary devices through the USB. We also have our phone interface to connect via telephones, and then we have our setup menus and our sound setting menus as well. Located further down, we have our heating system. So we have our air temperature, air speed, and air flow with these respective dials. Air conditioning is on or off. Then you have your rear window element, rear blowers switched on. Now there is no actual blowers left in this van from its conversion, so this switch will actually not do anything. And then you have your rear circulation, your circulation system for the heating system. Bear in mind, if you're running this for about 20 minutes, the windows might start to steam up. So if that's the case, then switch this back off again, as it were. You do have a single loaded CD on the media unit, which can be ejected with the eject button, just like so. Okay, and if to turn the system off, just press the button here, and that puts the system back on standby. And that covers the primary driving controls. So that was a handover video for the Crowther Camper's VW Transporter, and I hope you found it handy, and as I said to you earlier, recommend that you bookmark it for future reference. So all that's left for me to say is I hope that you have many happy miles motorhoming in your new camper van, and remember, we're here to help if you need us. So all that's left for me to do is say thank you for watching, and bye for now.